Well, welcome everybody. This is Kim Evans, and I am so excited. This is Inspired Conversations. I have a wonderful guest today. I have Miss Dr. Annissa Conrad Short. She is actually going to be speaking about her business. She has a hybrid publishing company. So we are going to get right into it. I want to welcome. Oh my God, Dr. Annissa Short, thank you for coming on the podcast show.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it sincerely.
Yes. Well, let's get right into it. I like to always, when I start my show, y'all know how I do. I like to invite the Holy One in. So, Miss Dr. Nissa, I am just going to hey, warm the audience. And I just want to say, God, we just thank you so much. We want to bless the audience that are listening. But more importantly, God, we just want to thank you because without you and your voice, I am nothing. Lord, we just want to just bless the people that are here listening, that as far as the east, as far as the west, as far as the north, as far as the south, that the words from this podcast, that they will be inspired, illuminated, and transmuted today. I'm so excited by these gems that Dr. Nissa is going to drop. And we just thank you, God. Run with this podcast show. Run with this podcast. Dr. Nissa, take it away.
Listen, Kim Evans, beauty and business coach. I want to say again, thank you so very much for opening the door to this opportunity. It's been your energy is contagious. I don't know if anyone has ever told you that, but your energy was contagious when we met through our mutual coach. And so in connecting with you, I expect nothing but greatness from
Yes.
this relationship.
Yes. That's how God works. He just puts us in the wings, in the rooms of other great like-minded
Right.
people. I would say humans, creatures. Let's just say creatures, because when he designed women, we're great and brilliant. And I said, man, when I met Dr. Nissa, it's like, okay, she's in the publishing. I'm like, okay, I want to be a part of her tribe. And it just was great. So let me just share a little bit about who you are. She's a director of a hybrid publishing company, one that champions the success of women, that your passion for the audience is to know your voice. And we're going to be talking about that to talk about that today, is that your voice is important and it's to be heard, and that your voice has value. You have an extensive background. It is just amazing about your background. I'm going to share just a tad bit. Her literary journey began in 2018 with the publishing of her first book after being mentored by Dr. Norma McClunkslin, I believe, serving as a publisher concierge for Chosen Pen Publishing and curating projects that led to over 30 authors attaining Amazon bestseller status. Y'all, she's going to talk about her TED Talk too. I can't wait till we get to that piece. And accepted the assignment of establishing the Chosen Pen Group, a boutique hybrid publishing company. Miss Dr. Anissa, take it away, girl. Take it away. Take it away. How did you get started? What made your inspiration to become an author? Where'd that
Okay,
start?
so interesting question. It's just interesting question. And I believe this answer is one that many people, if you ever speak to, will share. When one chooses to write a book, unless it's like a novel or something along that line, and then maybe not even in that genre, but typically you are providing an answer to a question or offering a solution. And that was my situation. I've been engaged in coaching women in business, particularly those who have established businesses from in the walls of their home. And over time, I became the go-to person when they would need questions or had answers or needed answers. And so representing in the marketplace became a resonating theme with many of them. They did not know how to properly represent as a vendor, as an exhibitor, properly represent as a networker in a networking setting. And so I would get phone calls. I would just get phone calls. And it led from that to even local businesses reaching out to me, asking me to coordinate that aspect of their event that they were hosting. So I was in charge. So what I decided to do at the unction of my husband is to write a book to provide the tips on what it looks like to properly represent in the marketplace. And from there, I ended up inadvertently well, not really inadvertently, because I believe our steps are ordered. I met Dr. Norma at a networking event. I
Oh,
did not know she was a publisher.
Okay.
And then it went from there. She not only published that book for me, her company did, but she took me under her wing as a mentee. Unbeknownst to me, it was a setup, Kim. It was a setup. And so everything evolved from there. It really did.
I could tell that it's your happy place and is your joy. You have really found a true joy in what you do.
I do.
I love it. So before further ado, before we get anything, before we get more into this, I just got to drop this gem right here. Your voice has value. The Chosen Pen Group. You have a beautiful event that's coming up. I believe it's next week. Your voice has value. It is called let me see. Let me see. Let's share with us the Literary Excellence Virtual Summit that you have coming up real quick.
Every year in September, we host an event that serves as the anniversary celebration for Chosen Pen being in existence. And so this year, we decided to go with a virtual event. Chosen for Literary Excellence is geared towards those who want to be an author, those who may have just published their first book, and those who are authors who want to take their game to the next level for marketing. So
Excellent.
within that week, we're going to be spotlighting the evolution of Chosen Pen over the years, just kind of as a way to celebrate the existence of the company. But each night, we're also going to have a virtual workshop.
Okay.
So each night's theme is all under the umbrella of Chosen for Literary Excellence. So Monday night, it's all about writing the book. A lot of people get stuck there.
Okay.
They want to write the book. They don't know how to start. So
Okay.
our phenomenal teacher is going to talk about that. Tuesday night is the editing process. What does editing a book really look like? When you're looking for someone to edit your book, there's some things you really need to know, especially if you're choosing to self-publish. So Tuesday is about the editing process.
Okay.
And then Wednesday is SEO and social media marketing. We have an SEO guru that's a part of our team who's going to talk about that in depth, provide nuggets on how to make sure your book can be found, that people know who you are and they can find you when they Google you. Do you come up? And why, if not, why not? So she's going to talk about what marketing from that perspective looks like. And then our team lead on our best sell campaign, those clients who choose the best sell campaign. We have a team. Teresa is phenomenal. She's worked with us for years, and she's going to do a workshop for those who choose to do it themselves. One of the things about us as Chosen Pen Group, our desire is to work with a person who typically would self-publish, but just don't know where to start. So we do everything for them. But in the event that there are those folk who are out there who are insistent for whatever reason to do it themselves, we want to make sure they're equipped. Because one of the most disheartening thing for me, I will say, is to meet someone who's excited about a book, and when I look at it, it's not right. It's not laid out properly. It's not edited properly. And they've done the work. They paid the people, but it was just not up to par. So that's what we're going to be discussing all week.
It sounds like it's a whole complete shebang. I mean, from the
It
beginning.
is.
So can you give us the dates? Drop the dates again.
September 22nd, which is Monday, through the 26th, which is Friday.
Okay.
Each night has a topic. That Friday night is going to be a round table, things that self-publishers just need to be aware of when it comes to marketing themselves. Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. And what's the time?
7 p.m. Eastern each night.
Okay.
Yep. Now, here's the caveat to that.
Okay.
They must register because we're going to be hosting this via Zoom.
Okay.
And because we want it to be engaging. We got a few seats left. We want it to be engaging. We want those who are participating to be able to post questions in the chat so we can address things real time. Okay. And we'll be recording some of the segments. So when they register, they get the recorded segment as well, because, sometimes you just can't capture all the notes.
So what I'm going to do is just drop the gems and the notes, because that this don't become dated. I want people to get more information that they could, go back to your website and they can actually either purchase the replay, purchase the course, purchase the training, and no other events that are coming up. So this is on the 22nd through the 26th. It starts 7 p.m. Eastern, and the investment is...
Well, I've got a special investment, Kim, for your friends and family. Okay. And so I provided a link.
Okay. So
the registration is typically $197. Okay. Right, which is very inexpensive for the week. Okay. Now, in this week, if they register and they use the link that I provided you with, Kim, they get a special promo. So they must use the link to see what their special is. And I would take advantage of it. I really
you guys
would.
Use my special link. Read the notes. There's a special link. It's almost $100 off. It's amazing. So just make sure you use my special link. Otherwise, then you're going to be paying Dr. Anissa's full rate. So thank you for that book, that. And then I'm also going to close it and we'll also mention it again. So I got to get to this point. As a confident coach, because you're a publisher, you're an author, you're also a coach. What's the biggest block that you see holding women leaders back from writing the book?
The confidence. They lack the confidence. They feel like they're, my mantra, and I shared this with you, is that your voice has value. That's my tagline. I truly believe that. And so when I'm speaking with women, they want to share maybe how they got over, how they became victorious, how they, rose in the corporate world, or whatever their story is. But sometimes they don't see themselves in the proper light. And that creates a block. So they never get started. Or even if they get started, they stop because they feel like what they're doing, is it really making sense? Does anybody really want to hear this? That, how we have that
Right,
in
exactly.
thinking.
We have that conversation. We start having those kind of talks in our mind.
Yes,
Right?
right.
Of is it, but what I found is what really makes a bestseller. Give me a transformation at the end. I mean, I love your story. Tell me your story, which is your glory. But how is that going to help me? And I'm
Exactly.
finding those books that actually is more transcending, that's transformational. They have that hook at the end. This is what I learned. This is what I did. Don't do this. And then here are the things that you could do too to make your life better. Now,
Exactly.
that's missing. And I think if that was also included in these books, it'd just hit home. Told it'd be
Yeah,
complete.
you're absolutely right. Let me say this to your point. There's one thing to write a book, and there's another thing to do so with a level of authenticity and transparency. What
Okay.
comes from the heart touches the heart. So if I am genuinely wanting to um, provide you with the information that will make a shift in your thinking,
Yes.
um, for you to experience a level of inspiration that then results in action,
Yes.
then I'm going to write the book from that perspective. It's not going to just be me.
Ah.
It's not going to be just me regurgitating a bunch of facts and cute sayings and
Right.
slogans. I'm going to
Right.
be in your space like, sis,
Right.
this is what I experienced. This is what I learned. This is what I want to give to you. Don't fall in that trap. And if you did, dust yourself off and get back up. So when I say your voice has value, I am speaking from a standpoint that you're being authentic and transparent. We're just not saying things to be saying things. I could repeat everything Maya Angelou said in her book, and if
Right.
I don't say it with the same level of sincerity and authenticity as she does, it's not going to matter. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just
And
words on paper.
And see, that's where you come in as coaching. As someone comes
Right.
in that what your company offer, and we're going to get more into that as well in terms of give me the journey when someone comes into your company to the end. But before we do that, man, I got to get to this right here. We hot because tell me about the TED Talk impact. I mean, what was your TED Talk
Oh my
experience
God.
like? Just,
Okay, so I was issued
give
a
us the
challenge.
short, give us the short version.
I'm
Give
gonna do my very best. Now, I
us
told you I was
okay.
connected to Dr. Norma, and she became my mentor, right?
Okay, all right.
Well, she challenged me in a way I had never been challenged before, because when I first, had the first manuscript for the first book, I had no intention, Kim, on writing another book. There was no other book even in my mind's eye about anything. And she said to me, "You're going to write more books
Okay.
for the audience for which you serve." And in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know what she's talking about, that kind of thing. Well, one of the things about my mentor is that she is also a pastor's wife. She's been very engaged in ministering in the lives of women. Okay. And she basically challenged me to connect forgiveness to success.
Okay.
And I thought that was an interesting concept. That's not something we studied in school, Kim. We didn't talk.
Yeah.
Forgiveness 101 was never a course that we took, right? And
Unless
so I
you,
had to do my research.
unless
I
it's
had to,
seminary. Okay,
yeah,
all
well,
right.
right, but not in business school in
But not
general,
in business.
right. So she challenged me, and so I had to do the work. I had to do the research and bring it back to her. Forgiveness was her platform. Fast forward, what I did not know is that an opportunity was going to be presented for me to fly to South Africa to be on the stage with a TEDx salon hosted by the University of South Africa. And I was on a panel that talked about women in business. And the moderator heard about my concept of forgiveness and how it ties to success in business, really in life. It's a success principle, period. And that's how I ended up on the stage. That's how I was chosen, because that was an interesting principle. You know, we talk about customer service, we talk about
Right.
strategy, we talk about
So the
operations.
so the one line, forgiveness, business, success. Sum that up.
The principle to prosper starts with forgiveness. Forgiveness is not just a biblical term, although it's made reference to in that segment. It is a mental health strategy. And if you are not forgiving as you should, your mental health will be um, compromised. And if you're not in a great mental space, you cannot create the level of success you are destined to create.
Bada bing. And I'm not even going to ask her to repeat that because that was a divine moment. And that's why I had to ask it. I had to ask it that way. Y'all just gonna have to replay it back. Okay. That was amazing. That right there was, I can see the book too, Forgiveness, Business, and Success. That is amazing because that shuts a lot of women down and they can't propel forward. I was just actually coaching one of my clients on that and how that also impacts health, right?
It does. It
And
does in so many ways.
oh my God. Well, congratulations on that. I hope
Thank you.
it will lead to other TED Talks. We're going to be looking to the lens for you to do more. I hope for me to be on mine because I keep speaking.
Absolutely.
I keep speaking it. And on that note, leadership lens. So you champion women in leadership. So in your view, what unique strengths do women bring to leadership that they need more recognition of and writing about?
That's a good question, Kim. That's a good question. So women are unique. You know, of course, we have male, female, obviously, right? I think the danger, or the danger, I'll say the danger
Mhm.
that we as women tend to do, or have been noted to do over the years, is to assume that we should function just like men when we are in a position of leadership, when we bring uniqueness of our own to the table. So when a woman truly embraces her femininity, the gifts and talents that she's been granted, and operates from that space, she's powerful. She's unstoppable. You know, the success that she endeavors to create
Right.
is inevitable, because here's the thing: when I'm truly operating as Anissa, and you're truly operating as Kim, in all the awesomeness that we bring, whether there be similarities or differences,
Right.
there's always somebody that can benefit from what we do. And when we are in a place where we serve others from that authentic place, we win too. You know, and
Okay.
women are givers. Women are givers by natures. We're givers, we're nurturers. That's a part of who we are. So we don't function in our full capacity if we are not allowed to be givers and nurturers.
I
That's
love
the leadership strength that we bring to the table.
I love it. And you're also a business strategist. That's the other part of what you do in your business. So a strategy and action. So as a success strategist, what's one practical strategy that women could apply today to accelerate themselves in their business as they position themselves to write their book?
Part of that is the choice to be a mentor. I think that's very important. I don't think I know. So a success strategy is to give back, to bring somebody else along.
Mhm. That's
Dr. Norma
good.
mentored me whether I wanted to be mentored or not. We look for people to be our coaches,
That's
and there's
good.
nothing wrong with that. Everyone needs a coach. I don't doubt that at all. But who is mentoring you, and who are you mentoring? So
I like
when
that.
we pour into others, it's like seeds being planted.
Yes.
And that's why I'm very passionate about people writing their book, because Kim, you
Wow.
and I can have a conversation. We could have a mentor mentee relationship, and that's phenomenal. Everything is great. We celebrate something like that. But if I write it in a book, if I place the nuggets in a book,
Mm.
not only do I make a difference in your life, but I'm multiplied, and I would be in a position to make a significant impact on the lives of people that I may not ever meet.
So
That's
the
another form of mentorship.
So the difference, and just clearly define, just for our listening viewers and those that are watching here, the difference between a mentor and a coach.
The mentor is, well, first of all, they're very similar. The lines can blur, but I really believe that how a person serves it, how they serve in your life is it starts first with your receptiveness of the role that they serve. If you're my coach, I'm going to pay you for those 90 days or that 6 week,
Right.
But when it's a mentor relationship,
Right.
they're pouring into me, but
They're
I'm serving
pouring.
them.
Yes.
They're pouring into me, but I'm serving. My
Yes.
relationship with Dr. Normal was not tied to a dollar with dollars and cents.
Yes. And most of the time the mentorships is no dollar. It's
It's
there's not an investment cost to that. They're doing
right.
it out of their love. You
Right. And then you as the mentee have to be yielded.
yes. Surrender.
Surrender. Exactly. There's you must
Surrender.
humble yourself and be willing to be
Yes.
receptive. Right.
Yes. So that's the way that go, listeners. Okay.
Yeah.
So go out and find you a mentor. Y'all know how to contact me. And now you know how to contact Dr. Anissa. So that's beautiful. Now let's get to this one right here. I truly believe that a podcast is your new business card, which it is. But
I
we
love it.
all know too that a book is your business card. So for women entrepreneurs, why is publishing a book such a powerful, still today, a tool for credibility and influence?
So Kim, I'm going to say there are three things that I believe the book does for the individual.
Yeah.
Now, it can be male or female,
Okay.
but I'm all about my sister friends. Okay, that's who I'm called to serve.
Okay.
So one I've already touched on is the importance of mentorship. We need mentors. Our
Yes.
younger generation, and not so much from an older to younger, because there's a biblical principle that says the older should teach the younger, whether it be male or female. And
Yes.
it's not always with regards to age. It could be the more experienced should teach the less experienced. And so when you choose to publish a book, to write a book, to author a book,
Right.
to provide people with the answers to questions that they very well may be praying about, then you've positioned yourself to be a mentor to someone. We need more
Okay.
mentors.
Okay.
Number two,
Okay.
if you are um, healing, you have gone through the shadows of death, the valley of the shadows of death, and you've gone through a life crisis. So maybe you just learned some lessons along the way. Okay. One of the things I believe, another biblical principle, is that we overcome by the word of our own testimony. So
Ah,
when we put into writing that thing that we overcame, we, of course, again, are providing answers to someone else.
I love
Okay.
it. I
So
love
that's another caveat to that writing, why writing the book is so important. And then the third is legacy.
Ah,
I think it's phenomenal that you have a podcast and those who have podcasts, outstanding. I think it's phenomenal that people speak from their respective stages, whether it be in ministry or community service and things of that nature. But what's going to happen when you're no longer physically on the earth? We
exactly.
can talk about how much she was so great. Oh, she was so dynamic on stage. Remember when she said that? Well, no one has to remember when they have the book.
Absolutely.
So your legacy lives beyond you. When you're gone, your words continue to make a difference.
And I have to just 1 second plug. I'm still listening to Dr. Miles Monroe. I mean, I'm
Absolutely.
still listening to him.
Listen, I found another book just today, Kim. I was unpacking a box as I recently moved, and I was like, oh, here's that book. My husband has books. We still have the books. He's no longer with us, but
Yeah,
he is.
but
He
he
is
is.
still with us because he put it in a book.
He put it in a book. So, number one, mentorship. Number two, blesses the man who keeps his testimony. And number three is legacy. That's why,
Exactly.
women, you need to go and write your book. Oh, thank you. Your resilience story. Can you share a time when you faced a major challenge in your life that you overcame it? Boom. And the confidence to keep going.
Now, you asked that question. I did not know that question was going to be asked, but I will tell you that in 2008, 2006, rather, right after Hurricane Katrina, I lived in a city where the city in which I lived was the place that a lot of the people who were devastated by Katrina um, escaped to for shelter, right? During that time, I was pregnant with twins and I had a high risk pregnancy. Unfortunately, I lost the babies. Okay, my health was challenged. We lost the children. And then I made the decision within 3 to 4 months after that to quit my good government job.
Ooh.
So now imagine my psyche. My psyche at the time was, the postpartum depression, you know what I'm saying, that comes with just being pregnant, period, because I was farther along in my pregnancy, but then the loss of the babies, and then the decision to leave my job. And I was in a funk, like, what am I supposed to do now? My career, I don't have I've left my career behind. I felt good about leaving the job, mind you, but after the fact, I was just in a cloudy space. That's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
And Kim, this book and several other principles that I've shared with you today were reminded to me during that window of time.
Wow.
Is that the call that I had been given at 19 was to change my major to business, because one day I would coach women in business.
Wow.
And then in the 80s, early 90s, that term was not prevalent. I'm like, what is a business coach? Now I know what a business coach is. Now I know, Kim,
Wow.
I'm doing exactly what I was going to be doing. I was told I'd be doing. But and a lot of times you have to go through, unfortunately, those dark moments, those challenging moments, to really bring you back to the space where I asked the question, what am I supposed to do now? And I know the voice of God said to me, you're going to do exactly what I told you were going to do when you were 19.
Oh,
And it didn't make sense, but it makes sense now.
but it makes sense now. And look
Yes.
how many other thousands of women that you are helping around the world because you were
Right.
brilliant, right? And on that note, we talk about global perspective. So, as an international bestseller author, which you are, how does global reach shape your message and your impact that you make? Because you make a global impact.
Well, Books and Bridges is, if anyone were to visit the website, Chosen Pen Group, you'll see a segment on our page talks about Books and Bridges.
Okay.
During our visits to South Africa, the decision was made to be literary agents, for the lack of a better phrase, to pour into children in underserved communities. And so, because of a series of events, I become really a spokesperson of getting books to children in Africa.
Okay.
So we start the Books to Africa. I did the Books to Bridges concept and initiated it under the auspices of Chosen Pen Group. And so, two things we do under that aspect is, one, we get books to South Africa. We've sent books to Ghana. We've sent books to Kenya. We sent books to Soweto and Johannesburg, South Africa, to
Mm.
children in schools and in villages. In addition to
Mm.
that, we partnered with another young lady, Dr. Well, I don't want to call her name, but anyway, well, maybe I should. Anyway, I didn't get permission to do this, but anyway, she hosts a book tour every year during the summer, where she does a kids book tour. And we partnered with her for 2 years to host the kids book tour. And during that tour, we promote literacy for children by also spotlighting children book authors. So it's like an expo, festival, carnival type setup. So yeah, that's what I do from an international basis.
So look at that. See, I mean, so you are actually utilizing your global reach. You are across continents.
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. This is, I mean, I don't think you could get further than that. Next one, New Zealand, but you at Africa. I mean, this is beautiful. So the future vision, what's next? What is next? We already know that you have this event that's coming, but what's next for the Chosen Pen Group? Where do you see your vision?
Oh,
Let's
wow.
just start real quick. Where is the vision for? And then I want to touch on again the event that you have in for next week. But
Okay.
what's the future for 2026?
Well, 2020, interesting you say that. We have already started planning for a writer's retreat for 2026.
I'm gonna have to come to that because
Listen,
I'm about to get
that's
my
one of
book
that's
written.
one
I'm
thing.
about to get
Now,
my
I will
book
just say
written
this.
too.
Well, here's the thing: whether you've already got a published book or not, we encourage our writers retreats. Writers retreats was something that Dr. Norma started. I want to build upon it, and so what I've done is partnered. There, that word is collaborating. I have a partnership with a lady who is actually in the Virgin Islands, and so what we plan to do is to host writers retreats, two a year if possible.
Nice.
One will be a destination like the Virgin Islands. The other one will be stateside on a smaller, intimate, where we may just book a large Airbnb and limit it to 10 people, so we can have some really one-on-one intimate conversations about getting the book written and things of that nature. The
And
writers retreats will be a combination of business and pleasure. Can you get excited?
well, y'all
And
need
so
to
yes,
come to the Napa Valley. Come on to the Napa Valley too,
you
and
know what?
get
Don't
the
tempt me, Kim,
destination.
with a good time. Do
Come on
not,
to
Kim.
the Napa Valley. Come on now.
I
Everybody
love that. I
come.
love the idea of that. We'll have to put that in our
Look,
arsenal for sure.
everybody want to come to the Napa Valley floor. Come on now. That is one of the destinations. So we got writers retreats that are coming. So we got books. And what stages are you going to be speaking on for 2026?
We're having to revamp. At one time, Chosen Pen was a an agent for TEDx for the TEDx salons, and so we're having to revamp that. I'm not really sure how that's going to work, but one of the things we have been very on purpose about is encouraging our authors, especially those that we target, once they get their book published, the importance of them taking their message to the stage. So we have positioned ourselves to assist them with their speaker content, creating their website so they would have all their professional
Mhm.
um, tools in place.
Right.
We're going to go back to doing the TED events, and if we're not hosting them, we're going to do. I'm really big on partnership, Kim.
Right.
I'm really big on partnership. So some of the relationships that I've established, they are licensed TED. So what we would do is then probably offer invitation to our people to plug in. So we're looking at that for 2026 as well.
Okay, I don't know why I just had this idea. I mean, I know you're doing your event. We're going to get to that. We're going to end with that. But coming to a city near you to where you take it on a road, maybe popular ones that are
Yes,
ladies that you're mentoring, the younger ladies and those that really want to write their books, to where you come to them and you do like a weekend kind of a seminar workshop. And of course,
right.
that sponsored, of course, we're going to have that partnerships, but that would be so amazing. And on that note, please share with us when someone come to your company, just share us from A to Z, the short
Okay.
version. What do they get with that? What do you do for them when they come to your company?
Okay. As a hybrid publishing company, we work much like a traditional publisher,
Okay.
with the except one of the biggest exceptions, however, is that we don't maintain any royalty rights. You
Okay.
basically pay us to do the work.
Okay.
So the initial conversation is going to be to see whether or not we're a good fit.
Okay.
It's important. I need to know that your book is a good fit. It is the type of book we want to publish, and you need to know whether or not we're the people that you want to work with.
Okay.
And then, of course, at that time, once you decide, yes, we want to move forward and the contracts are signed and the ink is dry, we do the book cover. Our design team is phenomenal. We do all of the editing and formatting of the book for the client. We actually do the uploading into the platform for print purposes. All of that. They don't have to do any of that. The ISBN registration, all of that comes with the package. And then we do have our conversations with Chosen Pen broadcast that we do stream live. So
Okay.
they're automatically interviewed.
Okay.
That content is then provided to them so they can use it and chop it up to
Okay.
use the content for their future promotions and things of that nature. And then we've introduced in this new year Voices Magazine, where we amplify the voices of authors, entrepreneurs,
Beautiful.
as well as speakers. And so when they choose to publish with us, they also get spotlighted in the magazine that
Uh,
we issue quarterly.
Marketing is always important. So let me ask you this too. One last thing on that. Once they sign the contract, they're with you. Tell us about the time frame of everything from the beginning to the end. But then before that, once it's done, do they get so many copies? Do they have to purchase the copies? Is it on demand? And as they sell to people or through different kinds of avenues, they just purchase their own copies of the book and they sell it, or they automatically into the Amazon Kindle and the Barnes and Nobles? How does that piece of it work?
Okay, so that's a good question. Thanks for asking that. First and foremost, usually from start to finish, we're done in about 6 months. The
Okay.
only thing that would deter that is if life happens, and
Okay.
sometimes that does. Our
Okay.
contracts are good for 1 year, so we
Okay.
give a little leniency, but usually within 4 to 6 months, we're done from start to finish. Do
Okay.
we offer copies on the onset? No, because we're really working with the self-publisher. We're not
Okay.
their agent, their literary
Got it.
agent.
Got it.
However, what we
Got it.
do, what we do encourage
Got
during
it.
the process
Got it.
is something that we call a pre-sale campaign, which is much like crowdfunding. One of the things we do first is their book cover to make sure it's ready. And then we introduce a marketing concept where we partner with them to get pre-orders before the book is done.
That's
So
smart.
when the book is complete, they have the monies necessary to not only satisfy those orders, but additional funds to get continued orders, additional orders. The book is theirs to do what they will. Now, we do encourage continued marketing. We
Right,
do
right.
occasionally target additional people that I've built relationships with for them to get additional podcasts.
Wow.
If they choose to hire us to do marketing, we don't promote ourselves as a marketing company. But because of relationships, I can get them to someone if they're interested in taking it to the next step.
I love it. Your voice has value, Dr. Anissa Short. This is beautiful. Every woman needs to write a book. Mentors are needed. Your legacy is tied to your message. Is there anything else you would like to share?
They need to register for this summit, Kim.
Yeah.
Because there's some people sitting on the fence that's been saying, and like I do, that they're saying, I've been working on this book for 5 years now, and I've been saying I need to write the book, and I just hadn't got around to writing the book. And sometimes we just get stuck. I believe this summit is going to help them get unstuck.
Yes.
It's one capacity or another. So they need to register for this conference. And
Okay.
if they are looking to publish and all of the things that come with it seems to be too overwhelming, I'll be more than happy to just have a conversation.
How do people get in contact with you now and after the summit?
They can email me at contact@chosenpengroup.com or just simply go to our website, chosenpengroup.com, and then in the contact segment, provide all the information and we'll get with you.
Amen and amen. Dr. Anissa, are you ever too old to write a book?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I'm working with an 80-plus-year-old client right now with a book of poetry.
I love it. I love it. Oh my God. And I forgot to ask this last question too. Is it still let's see, really, is it still beautiful to have your own face portrait on the cover of the book and also on the back? I know Valerie Burton just came out with her new book and she's looking amazing on the
I
cover.
think it depends. I think it depends on the genre of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's your bio, if
Okay.
it's your memoir, that might be more appropriate than if it's
Okay.
a self-help book. But we always feature our authors on the back of the book with their bio and
Okay.
with the description of the book. But as far as their faces being on the front, I would say it depends on the genre of the book.
I love it. I love it. Any last minute that you would like to share with the audience before we close out the podcast?
No, that's it. I appreciate this time once again. It's been a
You're
blessing
This
to
has
hang out with you in
been
this space.
amazing. It has been amazing, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens. This is Dr. Annissa Conrad Short with the Chosen Pen Group. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for sharing your time and thank you for your presence and being on Inspired Conversations podcast show.
Continued success, Kim, to you and yours.
All right. Thank you very much.